So I know your character has changed from the original pilot to the pilot that we saw, and I assume is premiering next week. So like, what kind of has anything really drastically changed for you?
The change of becoming a Wayne, which was a really big one, because I still was a rich guy who had been pampered and had, wanted to no, he didn't even want to advance. He just wanted to do nothing, live in this office, and stay where he was. And now that he's a Wayne, it brings in all of that. It brings in Batman, it brings in the family. In order, he talks about his family, it's immediately linked to Batman. He wants to go to Gotham. That's where he wants to climb the ladder. He doesn't want to do anything. He just wants to be asked to be there. Because he's a Wayne. But he doesn't work. He doesn't do a lot of work.
Does he have a lot of competition with Bruce? Is it like constantly trying to figure that out, or?
No, I think he looks up to Bruce. Bruce is, I believe, I don't want to speak to, who knows? I mean, Bruce is a playboy, right? He's a playboy, goes to fancy parties, everybody loves him. That's what he wants to be. Best parties, just loved. In his mind, it's just this ideal.
How much of the ridiculousness of Van comes out of your own improv? Because as we're listening, we noticed that like you were improvising a few things. So
right.
How much of it is you going over the top of what's on the page?
They've been great about letting me. I'll do definitely what's there. The scripts are really funny. There isn't a lot of changing what's there. It's they deliver a really good script. But if there's a punchline, it's a setup and a punchline. You can always come up with 2 or 3 of those. I sang a song a couple of episodes ago. I sang 2 songs, and one of the songs was the one they wrote me, and then the other one I didn't learn. I've never done that as an actor. I don't know what came over me, but I came in with 3-4 songs that I wrote. Like, well, I got another one. Here we go. Here's a blues number. And I'm not a good guitar player, so it naturally lent itself to comedy.
I'm curious, just for you personally, who is your Batman? Who do you picture when you're talking about Batman?
I guess Christian Bale. I haven't. Yeah, wasn't that bad? I guess everybody has a favorite Batman, right? Christian Bale.
Is there anything redeeming about Van? What do you think what are his good qualities, if any?
Oh, you know what? He is a good salesman. If he has to apply himself at one point in one of the episodes, and he turns out to be good. It reminded me of The Office when Adam Scott they go on that retreat and everything. He has that stupid party that fails, and it's just embarrassing and it's hard to look at, but he just kind of casually signs the biggest client that nobody thought anybody could sign. And Van, with a lot of help from Emily, but Van is able to really bring in a big, what would they be called? They're a client, but they're, anyway. A big fish. He lands a big fish. And it helps that they're from Atlantis.
I was looking at your office as the few shots that we saw in the pilot, and I was wondering if there are any sort of DC Easter eggs in there. Any Wayne stuff?
I don't think so. But I'm going to mention that.
Okay.
There are... You'll hear things, like people's names, cities, places that people go. If you know the comics, you'll be like, yeah.
Although his cousin, he doesn't know his cousin's a superhero, and since Van is a wealthy, well-off guy who has all this stuff, do you ever feel like he wants to be a hero, or because he's rich?
Right. I think he wants to be famous, and superheroes are famous. So in that way, he'd like to be a superhero just as long as he doesn't have to work. He doesn't really work too hard. I think being a superhero would require that. And he has no superpowers. I mean, Batman doesn't either, I guess, technically. But, he's never been in prison, in wherever that was.
Do you think Van would want to date a superhero?
Yes!
Yeah?
Yes, would a superhero date him? I don't know.
I actually have a question piggybacking off of that, because his story kind of sounds like standard supervillain origin to me. Like the jealousy, the I want to be a better Wayne.
Right.
Do you think that's possible in Van's future? Is he hard? Would he work hard enough to be a villain?
I don't think he has that depth of villainy outside of. I think when he does things that are callous or selfish, or usually self-centered, he doesn't realize them. You know, to be a supervillain, I think you have to have that drive to poison the city, or the city's water supply, or have grudges that are really deep. He's just kind of a bad boss, kind of a dick.
Usually the Wayne name is associated with tragedy for anyone who actually has that last name. Does Van become exempt from that, or is he...
Does he have his tragedy in his background?
Yeah.
Well, his parents didn't love him enough. That's kind of as far, he wasn't like, they weren't killed in an alley somewhere. They didn't love him enough. I like to think that he was raised by the gardeners. I keep trying to slip that in, and they don't seem to like that line. But that he was, the idea that he's raised by the help, but specifically the gardeners.
He's like an Alfred who's a gardener.
Yeah. So he's very good at, I don't know, landscaping also. He has that skill.